Ooh, sorry about that. I got me some neck bones, some fried chicken, some beans, and some rice. I've been tearing that thing up, man. It's so good. I almost forgot about the live stream. Oh man, it's so damn good, man. I cannot wait to tell you guys what's been going on with me for the past couple of weeks. I'm gonna wait for a couple more guys to get in here, and we are going to get to it. My boy Fly Rabbit's in the corner here. Tornado touchdown, Jasper, Tennessee, about a mile from Loves. Hey man, be careful out there. You don't want nothing to happen to you, man. So just be careful out there, brother. Anyways, mm, as you guys can see, ain't no couch behind me. So technically, y'all can't come for me about this couch situation, okay? Y'all have to leave me alone when it comes to this couch. So I did a thing. I made a switch, and we're going to see. Well, we're gonna see. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about, but we're not there yet. So I'm gonna say you're not using the template. How am I supposed to use it, man? I thought I had it right. I mean, I thought this is how it's supposed to go, right? I think maybe I don't know. Shoot, you should have called me earlier before I started, so we could have figured it out. But eh, whatever. We're not there, so it is what it is. Anyways, you know. Anyways, this cool template that Country built for me is pretty awesome. It's pretty decent. I like the background colors. I let him do all his creative juices on this thing right here. So this is all him, and I like it. It's cool as shit. So I do like that. Let's see. And I think I did the shapes right. Hold on, wait, hold on. I think I got you. Hold on. Ah, there we go. I had to fix it. I got a white little outline back there. Is that better for you, brother? Yeah, you can see it now. Is it better for you now? Let me know. But yeah, Country designed this whole thing here for me yesterday. I called him up. Matter of fact, he's been sitting at the Kenley Kenley 95 for the last for the weekend basically. And I was close, but I wasn't that close enough. I decided to after I dropped my load off, I was heading home. So I drove all the way home from North Carolina back to Florida because I was not gonna be sitting for those 4 days, man. We got a holiday coming up. I don't even know what holiday it is. I just be driving, minding my own business. These holidays just be showing up. So there you go. Anyways, he says, "There I go." All right, brother, I got it right. Now it's working perfectly. All right, don't come for me again, man. But anyways, he was just sitting there he's sitting over there in the weekend, so I just asked him to build me something real quick, something nice, and he actually put his foot in it because I was not expecting something this cool. So yeah, I like it. It's pretty nice. He built me a couple different ones, for when I have my boy come on the show with me, when I have other guests, and even one for when I pull up the news articles. I got one set up like that as well too. So that's pretty decent. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's cool. It's cool. My boy Fly Rabbit, he's been on lives, man, just rolling out the lives over and over again. We all know that he went to Swift, so he has his truck over there, and he's thinking about doing recruiting and all that stuff and whatnot. So, um, yeah, that's what he's gonna be doing. Um, so I switched from dry van to flatbed. There I am, right there, brothers and sisters. I have finally made the switch. It's getting hot outside. I don't like the cold. I don't want to be outside in the cold, but there I am, right there. I switched it up. Actually, funny thing is, I went and picked up this trailer out in Utah. I had to drive all the way. How far did I? I was in Chicago the week before in the Chicago area, and I had to go and get I had to go pick up this trailer. They called me and like, hey, we got a trailer for you. It's out of Utah. You want to go get it? And that was like 2 weeks after I was finished with the flatbed class, and I decided to go ahead and jump on it and go ahead and not waste any time. So I went over to Chicago, and let me tell y'all something, right? I picked up a load out of Chicago going to Salt Lake City. And over the weekend before that, it's Blitz week coming up. I have this trailer that's been annoying me for like the last, I don't know, couple of days because the ABS light has been out. So on Friday, I went ahead and go to the Loves and I got it fixed. Boom. Weekend's over. Monday come. Guess who's back? Damn ABS light again. I was like, ah, shoot. Now it's Blitz week, right? So I go pick up my load with the ABS light and all that, and I drove a little bit, went to another Love's before I hit a weigh station, and had them take a look at it. So they're telling me, it might just be a little disconnection issue, X, Y, Z, ABC. So they unplugged the ABS wires on the trailer, plugged them back in, drive around the Love's parking lot for like 4 or 5 minutes, no light came back on. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. I hit the highway. Guess who's flickering? ABS light on and off, on and off, on and off. Then it came on and stayed on. I was like, you son of a bitch. So, first time it cost Landstar like $700. Second time they just did a diagnostic fee on it and just call it a day. Third time I'm like, okay, I'm not taking it back to the Loves again. I'm gonna find somewhere else to go because obviously they can't fix the goddamn problem. So I go to I made it to Council Bluff, and I went ahead and put it in the shop at the Saps Brothers, right? Whole time I get there, early in the morning. So I'm thinking I'm gonna get it done. Boom, boom. Bob's your uncle. I'm on the road. Like my boy Country used to say. I ended up spending the whole day and night and the whole afternoon the next day waiting for them to fix the trailer. They finally fixed the trailer, right? They replaced the ABS. There was some ABS something on one of the axles. The same axle that they got that the Loves fixed the first time. They fixed all of that, wheel seal, whole deal, whole 9 yards. Cost about over $1,000. So Landstar is about $1,800 in on this damn trailer because I don't feel like driving it all the way to Salt Lake City with any weight stations open on the on Blitz week. I just didn't want to do that. Now, the Saps Brothers was nice enough for me that they gave me a free dinner. I could have got anything on the menu as much as I wanted. The manager of the shop was like, "Yeah, we know we're gonna be here for a while." The guy who works on the Landstar trailers, he had to go do a road call service on one of their trucks, and he was coming back. So that's why I ended up spending the night there. So they gave me a free dinner, gave me a free shower. I was like, okay, doesn't sting a lot. It is what it is. Now, I'm trying to make sure that I deliver this load early enough so that I can go grab the trailer because now it's the weekday. And I'm trying to make sure early Friday morning I can drop this trailer so I can go pick up the step deck so I can go in and find me a load out of there. And then I want to spend the weekend in Salt Lake City. It was not until the afternoon time that I finally got the trailer back. So boom, there I go again. I was like, 1,000 miles away from Utah. So it is what it is. I drove all evening, all night, made it to Salt Lake. The next day, it was like late in the afternoon on a Friday. Was it on a Friday? On a Thursday. Yeah. Made it late in the afternoon on a Thursday. Delivered the load. And then Landstar wanted me to take my empty trailer, drive it all the way down to St. George. Now, just St. George is about 200 miles away south. It's closer to Vegas than it is to Salt Lake City. So I had to go drop that down there. So that ate up my whole clock for the day. And then I had to drive all the way back up on Friday morning to grab the trailer. I did grab the trailer. I was happy that I got it. And then I had to sit for the weekend, right? So here I am again, sitting for the weekend, just to be able to swap over to do a step deck. But I'm glad that I did, because on Monday, I guess that same Friday, I booked me this load right here that you see. This is a load of hot tubs and the covers. I had the first time tarpon ever. Boy, let me tell you, man, why nobody never told me about tarpon? That black tarp that you see on there is 150 pounds by itself. Lord have mercy. If I probably would have thought twice about it if I had ever picked up a tarp before. But I'm in too deep. I gotta stay doing it. It is what it is. So I had to cover the covers with the tarp. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It took me 7 hours to do this whole thing on Monday morning. Learn how to strap this down, putting the tarp on, make sure everything was right, everything was straight. But I gotta give a shout out to my dog Fidel. Right now, he's in mourning right now. So his mom passed away recently, and I guess this weekend is when they're doing her services. So I gotta give a shout out to him for helping me out there. Steven from Loving Life, and Liza Kendall. All three of those guys was on video call with me, just coaching me through how to, strap the load down, secure it right. Now, don't get into it now. They was clowning me the whole time, right? But they was helping me with it. So it was a double-edged sword with those guys, man. But I appreciated every single thing that they taught. Matter of fact, over the weekend, KO and Fidel had me actually go under, because my tarps are right under the trailer. That's where they were stored at. And he and Kendall made me pull out the tarps, open them up, and fold them back together, just so I could learn how to do that stuff. That's when I figured out how heavy those tarps was. I also got to give a shout out to the guy who left the tarps. He left the tarps. He left dunnage on the trailer. I left the dunnage at the shipper. Hindsight 2020, I should have kept them, but I didn't keep them. But he left tarps. He left me 3 tarps. I guess that black one, that big black one, they call that a lumber tarp or something. I don't know what that necessarily means. And then 2 blue ones. And the way they're set up is that black one is just a straight rectangle 8-foot drop tarp. And the other 2 have flaps on them. They're also 8 foot as well too. So I really appreciate that guy for at least leaving those tarps, because I would not have found me a load out of Salt Lake going back east. That was the only load that was going back east that had tarps. So I really appreciated everybody that helped me out in the last couple of weeks about me switching over. My boy Country helping me build this site for me. So but yeah, he's telling me that I ain't making you shit up until you prove you can use this one correctly. I know I'm not using it right. I don't know, man. Let's see. I was supposed to be using this. Shoot. Okay, so I only got 2 of them set up here, right? It's just this regular one, as it's supposed to be. Technically, it's supposed to look like this, right? There you go. And then I got this one right here. I guess that's how I'm supposed to do, but the picture doesn't show right on it, so that's why I didn't use it. That's why I went ahead and just used this one instead. Just put the picture up, because the picture just covers the whole thing. So, what is it? Yeah, the other one didn't look right. That's why I used it like this. Let's see what he said. Damn rookie. Jonah Green's in the building, man. Good evening, Jonah, man. Thank you for all joining me. I really appreciate it, brother. And say, because you said, goddamn rookie. And say, I would help, but I don't know dick about step dad. You sure don't, man. Yeah, this one was out of your range, brother. You couldn't help me with what do this one, man. But hey, I still appreciated my boys for helping me out here. And see, that's why. See, if you gonna correct me, you gotta make sure that you spell it right. That's why there are squares telling you exactly where the camera sources go. I did. That's how I got it set up. See, look, boom, and then I gotta fix it like this, and bang. You know what? Let me see. If I had did it like this, right? Boom. And then, wait, did I mess it up? Go back this way. See, it doesn't look right with the with the stuff. It just doesn't show. I don't know. I don't know. For now, I'm gonna just put it back this way, right? Because it's just easier to do it this way, I guess. You know, I'm just messing with stuff. Now I done lost track of what I was supposed to be doing. Oh man. Yeah, see, there we go. Right back there. Boom. And I could just do this real quick. And I push it back that quick. Hey, I'm just trying to learn how to use this dang thing. I've never used it before. I never, well, not saying I never used it before. I just never been so in depth with it, man. It's because you don't want to take the time and adjust the sources properly. But How do you even adjust the picture? How do you adjust it? It doesn't even give me the option. It just says remove from stage and full screen layout. That's all that it gives me. It doesn't give me anything else. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, brother. It's just, um, and I'm gonna give this guy a heart attack, bro. I'm telling you, I'm gonna end up just giving him a heart attack, but it's all good, brother. It's all good. But yeah, man. So my first load, you say, I don't know, man. You say it ain't that bad, but for somebody who really doesn't really do all that much extracurricular activities, I guess you could say I don't exercise at all, so I'm gonna be exercising a lot moving forward. So targeting is not that bad. Well, you know, it's the first time for everything, so that's what it is. So, anyways, right, first load of hot tubs going back to the East Coast, right? So the one that's under the tarp, that's a really big one. They call it a swimmer, and then you just got I got like nine regular small ones there, and about a shit ton of covers for them. So I ended up it had four stops, one in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and two in North Carolina, and the last one was stopped up in South Carolina, right? So I made it to my first stop because they would deliver on Thursday and Fridays. And hindsight being 2020, I should have just deadheaded and found another load, and that way I could have got something for Friday. But either way, it doesn't matter, right? So I get to my first stop in Bowling Green the night before I'm supposed to deliver. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, it's going to be a quick unload because they get the majority of the loads pretty much, right? I think they got like seven of the hot tubs, the small ones, and about seven of the covers. So I get in there the night before. I already called the head. They know that I'm going to be there first thing. Going to be there overnight. No problem. I get in, do a 10-hour break. I'm sitting there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I hear people already come in. 7 o'clock. I'm like, okay, let me get up real quick. Let me go check, see what's going on. So the guy told me where I was parked at. I need to back out and go to the front, and that's where they're gonna load me at, and they're gonna be there in a minute. So I was like, okay, 7 o'clock. Pull up, park in the spot, and then an hour and a half later, I think it was like 8:30. Nobody came and said anything to me. So I'm like, maybe they forgot about me. So I go back there and I go ask the guy that's in charge, right? He finally comes up. He was like, "Oh, we can't unload you until 9 o'clock. We gotta make sure we get our trucks out first." And I'm telling him, like I said, I understand. I also have other commitments that I gotta get to. So if I can, you know, we can hurry up this process a little bit better. I made some suggestions. I didn't say nothing outright. His response was, "Well, rules are rules. He got to finish loading his trucks first that are going out before he can unload me," which didn't make no sense to me at all because it literally only took him about 15 minutes to unload all the loads that they had on my truck. And they could have sent me on my way to my next stop, no problem. Either way, 9 o'clock come, they didn't show up. 9:30, nothing. 9:45, they finally make it out there. So after they done took their sweet time, they're taking their sweet time trying to unload me and everything else. I was like, all right, cool. I'm checking at my ETA to my next stop, and I see that I have to go I-40 all the way through. If you guys remember when that whole situation on I-40 where half of the lanes were I don't know, destroyed or whatever, I got to go through that area. So that turned into a 300-mile run. That's about 6-7 hours. So I'm like, dang, I'm not gonna make that load today, that second stop today, because of all that whole situation. So by the time they unload me, I restrapped everything down, got everything ready. I called the next stop. They were like, "Don't worry about it. You can park here for the night, and we'll just get you in the morning." So there I go. Get that one done. That was actually pretty. That second stop was actually pretty easy. Nothing out the ordinary there. My third stop. Okay, my third stop. Boy. I get in, and I get into the wrong entrance, which was a dead end. So I would have to back out. Whatever. We get they were like, "Well, we're just gonna unload you right here, and then somebody will just meet me outside on the side, and they'll help me unload back out when I'm done." It's like, cool, no problem. I'm still able to deliver today, right, for my third stop and my fourth stop. If I can get my fourth stop done in by this evening, this will make payroll, and I will be okay. Well, somebody decided that they were going to park the forklift in the grass, and the forklift decided it was going to permanently stay in the grass, right? So here I am, already unhooked everything and ready to get unloaded, and the lady, she hops in the forklift, and she's trying her gosh darn hardest to get the damn forklift out of damn grass. It was just digging itself deeper and deeper. Me and her, we were just walking around trying to find sticks, wood, whatever to stick under there and pull the damn thing out. And it just wasn't coming out at all whatsoever. It was just being stuck. Second of all, she didn't even know that I was showing up. And she was like, "Who did you talk to?" I said, "I talked to a guy. I don't know who his name was, but yeah, I talked to a guy. He said, cool. He knew he was going to let you guys know that I was coming. Come to find out, it's her husband that I had called, and he never told her, and she got upset about that." So, anyways, it's just me, her mom. A couple of kids came on, had just got out of school, and another guy who was supposed to be at home, but he just so happened to be passing by and was like, "Hey, I didn't know we had an unload today." So with the forklift situation, we couldn't get it out. Then we kind of found out they had a Bobcat back there. So it was like, let's just go get it and hook up the Bobcat, and then we'll just pull it out, right? Unfortunately, they had no way to hook up to the trailer because the Bobcat was sitting in secured on the trailer, and in order for them to get the Bobcat off the trailer, they needed to be. I guess her husband was like, it needed to be tied to to a truck, like it needed to be hooked to a truck or whatever. So there goes that option out the window. But she had a GMC truck, SUV, whatever you want to call it, with a V8 in it. And I was like, well, we could just wrap a chain around this thing and wrap it around the forklift and pull it out. So that's what we ended up doing, right? She pulled the pickup truck up. I tied the chains around, secure everything. And then she gets to giving it the beans and nothing happens. Nothing whatsoever happens. It was just stuck. Matter of fact, the truck itself had all-wheel drive by SUV, had a V8 all-wheel drive, and it started digging itself into the damn ground. And so we just couldn't get it moving. So then they were like, maybe you can come back another day because if we can't get it out, we can't unload you. So here I am calling my agent, let him know what's going on. He's saying that he's gonna call me back and we're gonna see what happens. Because if I gotta go back, I can't go back for the free. I gotta go back for the fee. Right? We don't do things for free out here, We might do a little courtesy here and there everywhere, but that was a 400-mile round trip that I had to do in order to bring that load back. Plus, I'm already late for my next delivery, and yeah, it ain't happening on Friday. So, waited for a little bit, came back a couple hours, like a half an hour later. My agent called me back and he was like, customer's gonna call them and tell them that they gotta do whatever they gotta do to get that thing out of there. They're not paying me to come back. I'm like, okay, cool. So I let the lady know ahead of time that, hey, your customer's gonna call you and tell you do what you gotta do, And she was like, yeah, I kind of figured anyways. So what they ended up doing was the guy, he actually went to Walmart to buy a ball hitch to put on her truck so she can go ahead and hook up to the trailer that the Bobcat was sitting on so she could pull it out. We ended up hooking it up, finally got the Bobcat off of the trailer and pushed that sucker out, that forklift out. And we was able to get it unloaded. And we were actually unloading that big boy right there, the one that's hiding under the tarp. That's the one that I was delivering to. So I only had one hot tub left, just one. And that sucker had to go 200 miles. And luckily for me, right, the store was going to be open on the weekend. But they were telling me that, hey, you can come, but there's nobody going to be here. So you're going to have to go ahead and unload it yourself. I ain't never been forklift certified, but I was going to be that day because I was like, screw it. I'm not going to sit here and wait until Tuesday to get this thing off of me. If they're telling me that I'll have to get it off, cool. Notified the agent, and they were telling me that they will notify the customer and let the customer know that I was not responsible for any damages or anything that happens to that trailer, to that hot tub, if I unload it. We all agreed. I never heard anything else back from them. I drove and I parked for the night at the last location. So Saturday morning, early, I wake up, I heard a honk, but I was so deep in sleep, I was just tired. I ain't hear nothing. So I woke up I finally get out of the truck at 9 o'clock that morning. And I went inside to go see about this forklift because somebody was there. Luckily, unfortunately, I didn't get forklift certified. There was somebody there to unload me. So he already had me out, and I got all my stuff getting ready, strapped everything back down, put my straps away and everything. And, it's Saturday. There's no loads, nothing I can do. So I just dead head home. So I'll just pick this back up on Tuesday because there's no point in me sitting there for the whole weekend. So that pretty much what my first step deck load was like. Pretty interesting. Um, I liked it. I'll tell you that much. So far, I don't really have that much. Oh, another thing that happened to me before I did all this deliveries and whatnot, I caught a nail in the tire on one of the step deck tires. So here I am at another Saps Brothers. Go in there, try to get checked in, but it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and they're like, "Well, we're done for the day." So I had to come back first thing in the morning. They pulled out this nail thing that it was. Let me see if I can find it. I think I still have that picture somewhere. I'm gonna show y'all. 1 second. Do I have it in here? Yep, I got it right here. Let me download it first. Image. Bang. Give me 1 second. This thing right here, it's much longer than what you really think it is, right? And it's bent, like slightly curved or whatever. They pulled that out, and I asked them to just plug the tire so I can get on my business. But unfortunately, they didn't want to do that. They wanted to replace the tire because they were claiming that there was metal showing that it went inside to the sidewalls and whatnot. Strange, right? That's what I said to myself. I said that sounds strange, but okay. All right. Call Landstar. Landstar was like, we only put the top 5 brands on their trailers. They're not putting no Chinese tires, no nothing. They ain't fucking with it. And guess what? Saps Brothers only had the Chinese tires. So instead of what they ended up doing, instead of putting the tire on the trailer, they decided to just say, fuck it, tire's already off. Landstar wants me to go park, not necessarily on the side of the road, because they don't like that. They want me to go park at the Pilot and wait for them to send somebody to come and bring me a name brand tire to put on it. And pretty much I was in a no for that because I didn't want to do that. That was going to waste my time. This is exactly how they did me, right? They just put the rim back on the trailer, and told me have a good day. And while I was walking out, I came up like, let me grab that tire back from him because I want to see what it looks like, right? And well, I tell you what, it didn't make no sense to me because that tire, when I looked at it, it looked like I didn't have no problems with it, right? This is exactly what it looked like. And it came through that little hole. I don't know if y'all can see, but that's there's a hole right there. That's where that nail thing came out of. And as you can see, if you look anywhere around this whole area in this picture, you don't see no metal, right? No metal. But it was like, well, it's close to the edge. That was their second excuse. It was close to the edge, so that's why they need to replace the tire. The mechanic guy shows up. He actually showed up in 45 minutes, which I was pleasantly surprised about that he actually showed up in that amount of time. And he was like, well, he got a brand new tire. He takes a look at the tire, and then he calls his dispatch and was like, hey, what do you guys want me to do? Do you guys want me to use just patch the old tire? Y'all want to put the new tire on and call it a day? I guess they called Landstar. Landstar came back and said, you're already there. Go ahead and throw the new tire on there. And boom, put the new tire on, and I went about my day. So, interesting last 2 weeks, man. I know I didn't do a show last week, as for good reason. I was just trying to get myself ready and prepared for, the journey that I have going on now. But here we are now. Your boy is a step deck rookie. Step deck rookie, man. That's what my name's right there, Step Deck Rookie. I'm interested to see what my second load is going to be about, and I hope it's going to be that much less interesting than the first one. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping and praying about, man. Let's see. That design in the background looks like an old person's couch. First of all, it's not a design, it's the flag from my mother's country. That's why it's sitting back there. And no, I ain't sitting on no couch tonight, so you guys can't make no fun about me sitting on any couches. We're not making jokes about the couches tonight, people. Let's see. I like seeing country trucker James trap a load, tarp a load. I talked to James about doing flatbed one time. He is adamant, adamantly not going to do that. He is not going to do any type of any flatbed tarping or anything like that. He says he's too old. I'm inclined to believe him. If you say too old, he's too old. You know, country. I don't know. I don't know. We had conversations about it. You just gotta have to tune in and see whether or not it's something that he is willing to do eventually. But as of right now, he is over at Mercer and he's doing. I call it. I call it doing flatbed in a dry van because Mercer's freight is more like flatbed freight, but it's flatbed equipment going inside of a dry van. That's basically what he's doing. So yeah, he's a flatbedder without a flatbed. He just doesn't know it yet. Let's see what else interesting has been going on. Oh, mm, is it Arkansas was doing it, and they got a and that bill didn't pass. Is it Oklahoma? I think is it Oklahoma or is it Nebraska? Oklahoma came out with a new bill that they just passed that they are actually locking up non-domicile CDL holders who do not have the proper identification with them, whether it's their well, not social security, but their birth certificates, their visas, and their the work visas. If they don't have any of those and they're traveling through Oklahoma, jail time. If they do not have their, if they're unable to speak and understand English, they're going out of service. And it's not a 24-hour thing. It's going to be, from what I've heard on the sources, about 3 to 5 years of an out of service is what's going to be. And in order for the company themselves to rectify that, they have to send a driver that who does speak and understand English to come and pick up the truck so they can deliver the load within a certain amount of time. If not, Oklahoma is going to contact the shipper themselves and ask them to come and send a different carrier to come and pick up the load. So it's getting a little steamy out here with the foreign drivers and whatnot, man. Speaking of which, man, since it was the blitz during the blitz, that whole section, who got caught and who got a ticket, who didn't get a ticket, who got that lucky little colored sticker on their windshield, Y'all let me know in the comments, man. But yeah, Oklahoma is doing what Arkansas couldn't get completed. And according to sources, it was the ATA, not the American Truckers Association, but the Arkansas Trucking Association that wasn't getting behind the bill for them to get it passed. The ATU, I didn't think they had much hand in it, and the OOIDA were the ones who were able to get the bill passed in is it Oklahoma or the one in Congress? One of them. They got it to pass, but Oklahoma is taking a step further than what the president of the United States is is making when it comes to the rules of putting non-domicile CDL holders and the no speaking English CDL holders out of service. Now, my only question is, right, because we do have, not everybody in America speaks English, and not everybody in America has English as their native as their native tongue. For example, Puerto Ricans, they do. I mean, they do they do teach them English and Spanish, but for the older Puerto Ricans that are out there that drive trucks who are U.S. citizens, how is this going to affect them? Or is it just it's not just about foreign drivers, it's just about people who don't speak. I mean, what if you do speak English properly, but you cannot read? Are you going to get placed out of service as well too? Is that part of the requirement as well? That's what I would like to know as well too. So that would be an interesting take on there. Let's see, Amazon is just being Amazon's just been in a dumpster fire. We had the situation in Houston, and then Tennessee just had another situation with another Amazon driver, and Amazon's not taking responsibility for any of this stuff because hey, Amazon says they're third party, they ain't got nothing to do with them. At what point is the general public going to start holding Amazon accountable for the people that they choose to haul the freight for them? Are we coming up to that? Is that something that's going to be happening very soon? I don't know, but it would be interesting to see because it seems like it's always a foreign driver driving an Amazon trailer. Like somebody tell me something. Them Amazon trailers got bad juju on them or something? They just got bad juju spirit on them trailers. That's why them trailers they always find themselves in a bad situation. I think maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Jerry McClure says country runs a little late with his loads. How would you know that? Did he tell him? Did he tell you that? I don't know. See, No Limit. Good evening, man. Thank you for joining us tonight. He says I don't even think it was a real blitz. Fly said it was just to show some muscle, and I think he's right. I bypassed every station. And you know what? After I got that trailer fixed at the South Brothers and I was good to go, I was kind of upset a little bit because none of the wait stations were open. And I was driving during the day. I was driving daytime all the way from Wyoming. The only place I probably stopped was at the port in Wyoming because everybody stops at the port in Wyoming. But other than that, nobody was open. I was like, man. Either way, I did a good thing. I got the trailer fixed, and the next driver who picks it up ain't gonna have to worry about it. I think of it that way because, man, I could have just dropped that trailer and not have the issues that I had if it wasn't. I thought that the week after was gonna be the real DOT blitz because everybody wanted to stay home. Everybody was literally putting themselves technically out of service by just sitting and waiting those couple of days. And then, it was going to be a boom, catch 22. Real blitz is actually the next week. And I didn't really see anything really happen either. I did see a lot of state troopers at the wait stations. They were just all chilling at the wait stations. So I don't know. Maybe it was a flex. Maybe they was just trying to show some muscles, like you said, No Limit, but who knows, See, John says anybody must can haul Amazon loads. Hey, it seemed like when I looked into the process of pulling Amazon loads, it seemed like it was like a whole lot of complicated, no nonsense that they had in order for you to be able to pull their freight. But then when you actually look at their load board and see how much they're actually charging, it's like it just don't make no sense. And I can see why these foreigners or non-domiciled CDL holders are always pulling Amazon freight. It's it's cheap. Like it's under $1. It's crazy. It's under not under $1, but under $2 a mile. It just doesn't make any sense. So give him road dope. What's road dope? Is that booger sugar? Is that stuff that they used to soak the toothpicks in? I don't know what road dope is, man. You're gonna have to enlighten me a little bit more on that. But anyways, yeah, that's funny. So what are we looking forward to in the future, man? I mean, next month they're gonna start enforcing the no English thing like on a grand scale. I'm thinking, right? The consequences to this, we're gonna have less capacity, more loads. Capacity is the amount of trucks that are available to pull loads. They're saying that there is at least 1 to 2% of people who don't have a CDL that are driving a semi truck, and then we have about 100,000 to 400,000 people that are non-domicile CDL holders who do not speak English. If you get rid of half of that, right, that makes the availability, the capacity of loads is going to go up. Well, technically, that doesn't go up. The amount of trucks that are available is going to go down. So it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for things to flip to where it's now a driver's market, because it's been a broker's market for the last couple of years. You know, they've been setting the rates. But if you have less trucks and more freight, rates are bound to go up, because now they're going to be now, instead of us competing for the freight, it's the brokers are going to start competing for trucks, and they'll be inclined to pay a little bit more than not. So we're going to have to see how that works. And that ties into now, if that's the case, are the people who've been sitting and waiting and trying to figure out whether or not they wanted to buy trucks or get into the open market, is this the time now to go ahead and start, buying trucks? For the guys who decided to put their trucks on the back hold and go work for a company, are they going to be coming back out again? We're gonna see. If enough of the capacity goes down, and goes down to a point where those who have been sitting in their trucks are going to bring their trucks back out, or those who are going to start buying trucks and stuff like that, they're going to come out as well. That's going to bring the capacity back up a little bit, but hopefully not to the point where there's more, where it goes back over to an overcapacity and an under market for us again. I know there's going to be some new requirements. I don't know if you guys have seen, but if you are on the open market and you're seeing these loads, some of them have in the comment section, you must be able to speak English. You must have a non-domicile CDL. And I was like, these brokers are starting to require these things, because what's going to end up happening is if they get, if one of the drivers that they book for freight happens to fall under one of these categories, and especially if they're an owner operator or a single truck owner operator, it's a potential to hold their freight up. It's a potential to mess them up with their customers as well too. So now they're in there starting to require some of these things and make sure that these drivers have these, or else they can't pull their load, because then it's going to turn into a fuck fest for them. And I guess that's how they're trying. They're also, them and some shippers are trying to avoid that situation when it starts. Let's see. Jerry McClure says, called chicken. I still don't know what chicken feed is, man. I'm wet behind my ears when it comes to a lot of these trucking slangs. I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. Says, how's the Trash National doing? Hey, it's pulling a step deck now, man. Take a look. It's beautiful. It looks great. It's doing its thing, Yeah, I don't really have too much problems. I replaced some airline fittings, that were leaking, stuff like that, little things. That's all I've been working on. So hopefully, it'll stay being just a perfectly good running truck with no issues at all. Some things I need to do to it is one of my fog lights went out, and that happened couple weeks back, and I ran through some little more than deep water, and I guess that shorted it out. So I got to replace that. I bought some lamps to put some LED lamps to put on the back on the headache rack, so that I can go so that I can be able to see at night. You know, when they're loading and stuff, because my the lights that are the OEM lights sitting back there, they're covered. You can't see them anymore. So there's that. That's the part that sucks. See, No Limit says mega carriers might replace the whole non-domicile Cydia issue, since they keep on growing and adding more under their umbrella. Yeah, might be a that might be something. Another issue that somebody that they were talking about as well is whether or not whether or not, but how will this affect border freight, especially with partners down in Mexico. Like, are they going to be able to still drive up to their destinations to make their deliveries and drive back? Or is it going to go back to how it was before, where they dropped all their stuff at the border, picked up whatever they needed picked up at the border, and then go back home? So maybe border freight might get picked up a lot more than usual. We might see. We might see. We're gonna have to see about that. But other than that, I mean, you haven't noticed that the ATA, the American Truckers Association, has been real quiet about this whole non-domicile CDL, all about these non-English speaking drivers. They have never. I feel like they've been taking a neutral stance on the whole situation. They haven't said anything whatsoever for or against the whole situation, as far as I've been reading or trying to figure out where their stance is on it. And we all know that the ATA isn't for the American truckers. It's pretty much for the mega carriers themselves. So we're gonna see how that we definitely gonna see how that's gonna work, because I know a lot of these mega carriers, they do have Mexican and Canadian fleets as well too. I know Swift has a Mexican fleet. Another one that has ET Transport out of Canada, they do have an American and they do have a Canadian fleet as well too. So it'll be interesting to see how they, do their thing. They claim to not be a mega carrier, but I feel like if you got more than 100 trucks, you're pretty much up there with the rest of them. See, No Limit says, "Oh yeah, that is true." Well, yeah, pretty much. We're gonna see how they do all that stuff, man. Anyways, but like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see. Also, 90-day pause on the tariffs with China. So apparently, we're gonna have a lot more freight that's coming in from the West Coast. That's gonna be packed up, shipped up, and get stored in warehouses, because I'm pretty sure a lot of these logistics company and these, like the Walmarts and the whatnot, they want their freight. And if they gotta be stuck with another tariff, they're ordering like everything left and right. I'm pretty sure they're ordering up to next year just to stack and store, just in case the whole tariff situation with China doesn't work well, you know. But as of right now, for the next I think the end of the month of June. We're in May, right? Yeah. At the end of the month of June, you should see a lot of freight pick back up, because that's probably about the time when the ships start arriving back in California again, to start picking up freight during this 90-day pause. We're gonna see what happens. I don't know. I got out of dry van to get into step deck, mostly because I was just bored of doing dry van, and a little bit of just how the market was going, because the dry van rates are just absolutely trash, as I've seen them on the low board. But the The open deck freight isn't much better, but it's a whole lot better than anything. But my main reason for switching over is just because I was just entirely bored with the dry van. And then I had my boys like Fidel and KO, um, like Steven, just watching them do open deck and see how it works. And then been watching like everybody else like Cam the trucker. He was doing open deck. He went to Reeford and came back to open deck again. Just watching him, my boy Lou, uh, just watching them just be on doing open deck and see how it's getting done. And more and more, I just been wanting to get into. I've been wanting to get into it for years now, but I just never, committed to doing it. Ever since I've been watching Trucking with Tay, since he was at Maverick, doing open deck. That's as long as I've been wanting to do it my own damn self too. So I'm glad that I got into it now. Cut my teeth doing tarp in the first round. It is what it is. Hopefully I can get something fun and interesting next week because plan on getting my TWIC card and I gotta go get me a new passport. And I'm gonna do it all those stuff I'm gonna take care of this week. And as soon as I'm done doing that, I'll find me a load out of here. And then I'm gonna just go from there on that. So see, Jerry said James called me, said he is leaving Swift going to Jerry, you're a funny guy. You are a funny guy, man. But yeah, like I said, guys, I am no longer doing drive-in. I am doing the stepping decking. Some people would ask me like, why didn't you just go straight to flatbed? Why you just skip flatbed and went to step deck? I mean, shoot. I don't know. I shot for for the moon, right? And I just landed on one of the stars. That's just pretty much what happened. And I'm glad for it, Them hot tubs was something else, man. That was something interesting. But that video is coming out real soon. I hope you guys get a chance to take a look at it. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe, and do all that good stuff so I can go ahead and keep producing more content because it's there. I just need to make them and I produce them. So I appreciate you guys coming out again tonight and just, be able to interact with me on this new journey that I'm on. I might have another guest on next week. I'm just working on that right now. And we're going to see how these things go, man. But hey, the Trucking Shit Show is still here. Sorry about last week, guys. Sorry about last week. But I'm still here. We're going to be here every Sunday between 6. Yeah, I'll probably start doing it at 6 o'clock instead of 7 since it's just me for the time being. So, yep, Shit Show's going to be on 6 p.m. every Sunday, right? I'm just going to put it out right there. Every Sunday at 6 p.m., not 7, 6 p.m. So, again, thank you guys for showing up tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my other pages. I have a TikTok under the same name, Life on 18 Wheels. There's a Twitter/X, formerly known as Twitter. There's a group page. There's a page there, and there's one for Facebook as well. Good night, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.